Nice work.
Thanks. Spartans aren't the only badasses in the UNSC.
She's so likable, capable, powerful, manly. Wait, manly? Ah, whatever, good enough. Absolute Chud victory, like always. You love to see it, and we see it a lot. It's true. I am getting tired of winning, actually, on these things. But it feels so good.
What is up, Space Pirates? This is your Admiral, the effortlessly entertaining Dr. Disaster. And it's pretty eye-opening just how many people...
Speaking about entertaining, old chat, because the new chat was pretty fine, but the buffer zone is like this thick, so you feel like you're sitting on wood. It was not great. So, old chat for now.
have lost their jobs in the AAA gaming industry in just the past year or so.
Now it's a ghost town.
You would think that all of these layoffs would cause a lot of these studios to do some self-reflection, to figure...
I'm pretty sure to have the ability to self-reflect, you need to be, human with a soul. I'm not seeing that in a lot of game developers, but interestingly enough.
Figure out where the hell things are going wrong. After all, this has happened to a lot of studios all at once, so you would think there just might be some common through lines which would help explain why so many of these AAA studios...
I mean, it's certainly not whatever is the embodiment of this concept right here. That could no! Maybe it's because she's not black enough. Who knows?
Studios are suffering right now. One of the issues certainly seems to be a general lack of productivity. These studios are bloated as hell and are still taking many years to crank out games, even though, just as an example, back in the day, it was only a 4-year wait between...
Games? This is literally a remake. This is just the Code of Paint. They don't even make this. Are you kidding me? They spent 5 years not even properly applying a Code of Paint.
Between the Elder Scrolls games, Oblivion, and Skyrim, despite how absolutely massive those games were. But not only is it these days taking a shitload of time between game releases for a lot of these studios, when they do finally get something put together, it oftentimes ends up looking something like this.
You stay the hell away from me, you hear?
I don't know why.
This was Ubisoft's first 350 million disaster. This was massive. They literally said, oh my god, it's such a good... The marketing budget for this is massive. Never saw an ad, by the way. Interesting stuff. Oh, but yes. Man, I miss the days of Star Wars Outlaws. It was fun.
It is that people need to be told this, but it turns out that the gaming...
Remember all of those videos where people were, in this tall grass and surrounded by enemies and no one saw them? It was good. It was good. And then you use assassination from the grass and everyone's like, whoa, what just happened? Good times. Good times. It was fun times. I enjoyed Star Wars Outlaws. For all the wrong reasons, arguably, but I did. And I hope you did too. I choose to have a positive perspective on all of this garbage being lit on fire. Because, a fire is always fun to a certain degree.
Community just is not interested in seeing characters like this on the screen. We don't want to play as or be lectured by homely looking women. That's just not a thing that the gaming community wants.
I wouldn't even allow her to spit on me.
And in order to illustrate my point, with all of the layoffs that are going on right now, let's just take a look at a sampling of studios who are not making these layoff announcements. Shift Up, the developers of Stellar Blade, Pearl Abyss, the developers of Crimson Desert, Sandfall, the developers of Claire Obscure Expedition 33, Saber Interactive, the developers of Warhammer 40k Space Marine 2. These are games that gave us excellent gameplay and memorable characters that did not look like crap, and they are thriving, while studios like BioWare, as an example, are hanging on by
Hey, we just literally were done talking about BioWare. Ain't that a tragedy?
a thread, with barely any developers left working there after the ugly abomination that was Dragon Age the Veilguard.
What like that?
Well, the most recent game
Oh no, I enjoyed personally pulling a Bob. And looking at how unbelievably stupid the story was.
to go down this same woke route is, of course, Halo Campaign Evolved. They did not learn anything from the rest of the industry. The marketing for the game did its damnedest.
Well, you see, the problem here is, if they would learn anything from any of this, it would prove them wrong. And that's not okay. So, there is a reason why these people never learn from their mistakes. Because then they would have to admit that mistakes were made. That maybe that useless garbage ideologies are not exactly popular. Or, even rational.
To hide the woke slop that was in it, but as soon as the early access period opened up and people saw clips of Master Chief being sneered at and mocked by an ogre-looking girl boss in the new missions, people,
I mean, that's pretty offensive to ogres, but okay.
noped out at an astounding rate, to the point that even game journalists have openly admitted that the sales for Campaign Evolved were lackluster.
Wait. Didn't they say it was a success? There's literally a Kotaku article right there today published, about how you don't understand how Halo Studios is firing people after the massive success. That's right, success of Halo Campaign Evolved. They're flabbergasted, I tell you. How could this be? It clearly was a success. Wowie woo-wah.
Covered yesterday, there were massive development issues.
Ah, yes, look at that. The needle gun. 15 ways to tell how many needles you have in it.
Going on at Halo Studios.
I honestly think this should also start flashing red when you are low on needles. Just to make sure people know how many needles you have left, okay?
So, it is not surprising, with all of this information in mind, to learn that Halo Studios has already seen people lose their jobs in the wake of Campaign Evolved doing so poorly. It seems that maybe they should have been paying better attention to how games like this have been received lately.
That would go against the point that they are making, though.
We're in trouble now.
Wow. 10 out of 10.
Alright, me hearties.
By the way, like the video right now. Takes less than a second, and I do greatly appreciate everyone who does. It does help out a lot, and thank you for everyone who does. If you like this video, if 2 more people are gonna watch it, so you do have actual power here. So like the video right now. Takes less than a second. Thank you.
It is completely unsurprising to me that Halo Studios is being hit with layoffs in the wake of the flop of Campaign Evolved. I'm sure everyone remembers that it was several weeks ago that Xbox cleaned house and laid off a wave of people all across their entire company. It looked at the time as though Halo Studios was largely being untouched by that wave of layoffs. There were no reports that anyone at that studio had lost their job. My guess is that the layoffs were hanging over their heads like the sword of Damocles, and that Xbox just didn't want to generate any negative headlines prior to the release of Campaign Evolved. So, Halo Studios was left untouched until after that game came out. I also suspect that they were waiting to see how well the game did before they started making cuts. If it had sold well, then some of these people may have been spared. It's hard to say for sure, but we are going to
Wow, this is actually one of the better ways that someone is explaining this. This is pretty accurate, by the way, how things really are done. You make a plan, things are not going well, okay, we're gonna fire people, but let's see how this thing does first, and then we're gonna fire the people if it does poorly. If it does good, we're still firing people anyway. But, I mean, we're gonna fire less if it does good. That's actually how, in reality, a lot of these things work.
read about what happened in this article here from Insider Gaming. It says here, Halo Studios recently released Halo Campaign Evolved. It's the first game in the long-running Xbox franchise to be released on a Sony PlayStation platform. Unfortunately,
Dude, is this the article? I don't know where, I don't know if it's true, but rumor has it that PlayStation Halo sales are 1% of total sales, which would be wild!
following the game's release, the studio appears to be conducting layoffs. Several LinkedIn posts reflect this, with multiple people stating that their time at the studio has ended. Nick Treitman, a producer at the studio, has noted that he was recently affected by a round of layoffs. And then,
Good?
here is this guy's LinkedIn post noting that he was let go.
We watched this yesterday, it's pretty fun.
It says, after 6.5 years working on Halo and dodging just as many rounds of layoffs, it has finally caught up to me. I have nothing but love for Halo and the folks at the studio. This is just a tough reality.
Wait, is this the guy who actually said that he's afraid of guns and he hates guns?
In the gaming industry right now, and I just want to point out that a lot of people, a lot of Halo fanboys in particular, have been claiming that nobody at the studio itself was actually being let go. They are claiming that the only people who are losing their positions were contractors whose jobs were up after the game was released, but this guy is definitely not a contractor. He was a producer that was at the company for 6.5 years. These people are coping like
Who's gonna even trust anything a Halo fanboy has to say at this point? If you're still into the franchise, I mean, that's enough to invalidate most of your opinions on anything, honestly.
crazy. They just don't want to admit that there are problems at their favorite studio, but that's too bad. Anyhow, back in the article it says at the bottom there, Paul Morris was listed as a Scrum Master, and his time at the studio has also come to an end. However, it is noted that he was a contractor. And then, here is this guy's post on LinkedIn. The guy wrote, "Every player has a game they'll never forget. That's why I chose this career. I want to help create games that bring smiles to players and create memories they'll carry with them for years. That's what drives me. Today, I learned that my time at Halo Studios will be coming to an end following the successful launch of our latest game, Campaign Evolved."
Successful launch. I mean, I love how deceptive these people are. This is why it's always hard to figure out, are these people just stupid? Or are they being deceptive and pretending to be stupid to get away with the shit they're doing without consequence? Or at least that's the attempt. Because when this person says a successful launch of Halo Campaign Vault, he doesn't actually mean sales. He means successful as in the game literally launched. That's what he means by successful. And yes, this is, I would assume, 100% intentionally deceptive.
I know this is one of the most challenging job markets our industry has seen, and I know the road ahead won't be easy. And you know what? At least these guys are well aware that it is going to be tough finding work in the current climate of the industry. At least they have the proper expectations. Anyhow, then the article ends by saying, Caleb Lawrence, a software engineer at the studio, recently listed himself as available for work as well. And one thing that I want to point out, and this is the reason that I used this article in the first place, just to illustrate my
I'm sure all these people are gonna be wholeheartedly taken into Santa Monica studio to work on the new God of War game with Alana. It's gonna be great. Don't worry about it.
point, but Smash JT seems to have been the first person to report on this news that Halo employees are losing their jobs. This is a screenshot of his original post on X, which has gotten a lot of traction and a lot of views, but as he points out in this reply to his own post, love how all the articles use my same exact screenshots, but not one mentioned me or gave credit for the scoop. Again, absolutely wild. Well, that is just because these game journalist types think they are better than the so-called chuds.
I love how games journalism pretty much nowadays is just like see what's on Twitter.
They look down their noses at anyone who isn't precisely like them and doesn't.
Yeah, and then they wonder why we hate them. Interesting, is it not?
Hold precisely their views, which is not coincidentally why all of their buddies in AAA gaming have been undergoing the layoffs that we're talking about here in the first place. There is this whole attitude that anyone who doesn't go along with the progressive worldview is unclean and a lesser form of life. I mean, how hard would it have been to have simply noted in the article that this information was first brought to light by Smash JT? They don't have to like the guy, nobody is saying that they have to be good buddies with him or anything like that, but giving...
Yeah, I actually credited him yesterday. You know what's, I think, the funniest part? The current absolutely unreasonable push by journalists and whatnot to say that this game was successful. And I kind of do love it how many official Halo accounts and Xbox accounts that are like being, go play Halo. We already made fun of them for trying to get people to play Halo campaign Vault because the water effects are nice. And, you know, garbage like that. They're continuing. They are continuing. They are like, oh, look at the map design, and you can't even see the map design. Go play Halo Campaign Evolve. Go buy it. It's the best nanite technology dirt you're gonna see in your life. And they're unironically like pushing it so hard. And games journalists are making articles currently one by one. Oh, Halo Campaign Evolve was so much a massive success. It sold a lot of copies. More than 3, potentially. Wow. It's really baffling. Well, it's not baffling. These people are liars, but it's insane that you can just lie this hard out in the open where everyone can see that you're just flat out wrong. And you don't even stop for a second about it, and you just continue lying anyway. People are calling you out, and you're just like, nope. Just gonna ignore that, it's fine. Yeah, well, anyway, that was Dr. Disaster, 10 out of 10. Bye.